Hello, my name is Julia Lee from We Learn to Share, and today I'll be going over Unit 1, A Global Tapestry of AP World. Today we will be focusing on state building and comparison in Unit 1, and in the next video we will focus on Unit 2, Networks of Exchange, and more specifically the trading networks. First, we will explore Section 1.4 of Unit 1, which focuses on state building in the Americas from 1200 to 1450. First, we will focus on North America. During this time period from 1200 to 1450, the Mississippian culture largely flourished in North America. The Mississippian culture was a Native American civilization and was the first ever large-scale civilization in Northern America. A large part of the Mississippian culture were building mounds, which were used for various reasons, such as religious and ceremonial reasons. A famous example of a Mississippian civilization would be the Cahokians, who were a highly urbanized society. Like the other Mississippian societies, the Cahokians also created mounds. Furthermore, they also had extremely high population density, which led to some cons, as this caused the waterways to get polluted due to the large amount of waste, and most likely also caused the population to lack a steady supply of food. Additionally, religion in Cahokia was most likely based on rituals of fictive kinship, which is essentially championship that is not based on marriage or blood. Now that we have explored areas of North America and the Mississippian civilization, I will now talk about Central America. In Central America, we will specifically focus on more on the Aztecs, since they play a big role, since they are a big part of AP World history. To give a brief overview, the capital city, Tenochtitlan, was founded in 1325, and from then on, the Aztecs conquered much of Central America, which they were able to successfully do so through a tributary system, which was administered by a local governor. This had therefore consequently allowed for the Aztecs to control their political influence and dominance throughout all of their lands without having to be physically present everywhere. For those who do not know, a tributary or tribute system is a system where the conquered people must pay to those who conquered them, and they can pay through a variety of ways, including money, land, military service, etc. Now we will be moving on to Section 1.5 of Unit 1, which focuses on state building in Africa from 1200 to 1450. By the year 1000, rather than using centralized governments, which are governments that have power concentrated at the higher level, Africa was organized into kin-based networks. Before I give an example of a kin-based network, we'll first briefly explain how these networks worked. Basically, each network was led by a chief, and groups of villages were grouped together and were loosely connected through loose federations. One of the roles of the chiefs was for the chiefs from the federations to come together and solve problems that may arise in the region. An example of a kin-based network would be the Hausa Kingdom. Before the year 1000, the Hausa ethnic was made up of 7 states, which were connected through kinship ties, and instead of having a central government or authority. The final section we'll be looking at today is also the final section of Unit 1, and it is Section 1.7 of Unit 1, which focuses on the overall comparisons in the period from 1200 to 1450. We will focus on the comparisons of state building, religion, and technology between all of the areas that we have covered. This includes Sung China, Dar al-Islam, Southeast Asia, the Americas, Africa, and Europe. First, we will look at the comparisons regarding state building. For state building, the largest comparison and the strongest comparison will be between the Sung Dynasty and the Abbasid Caliphate. The main point / idea to remember here is that while the Sung Dynasty, nicknamed the Golden Age, largely flourished, the Abbasid Caliphate, on the other hand, was not able to flourish as much. This was because while Song China was able to flourish due to the advancement of technology such as gunpowder and also progress culturally, thanks to the revival of Confucianism and the civil service exam. The Abbasid Caliphate, on the other hand, had to face invaders and therefore was falling apart. However, not all was bad for the Abbasid Caliphate, as they were able to build new Muslim states such as the Delhi Sultanate. Another comparison for state building will be between the Aztecs and the Incas. Although the Incas were not previously mentioned, they will be briefly mentioned here for the sake of comparison. The largest difference between these two groups is how they built their empire. This is because while the Aztecs did so through the tribute system, which I previously mentioned, the Incans did their state building through the Mita system, which forced the conquered citizens into compulsory public service. Next, we will look at the comparisons in religion. The 5 main religions that prospered during the time period 1200 to 1450 was Islam, Confucianism, Hinduism, Buddhism, and Roman Catholicism. In order to be able to first clearly compare the religion, I will state the importance and influence of each religion. First up is Islam, which was able to unite regions throughout the Abbasid Caliphate thanks to the system of shared beliefs and the shared language that it created. Moving on, Confucianism helped Sung China flourish by strengthening the government, which we mentioned a lot in the previous video. Next, Hinduism and Buddhism were important as both religions were used in South and Southeast Asia by rulers to strengthen their power. Finally, Roman Catholicism was important as it was able to organize society without the influence of the state. Finally, we will move on to the last section of comparisons for today, which is technology. For easy comparison, I will name some of the most influential and important technologies from each area. First up is Sung China. The champa rice and the making of paper were extremely important. Champa rice was important as it was crucial in feeding the large population of China as the rice was fast growing. The making of paper was important as it increased literacy rates in China and overseas, which hence increased learning. Moving on, in Dar al-Islam, the improvement on rockets and the advancement in paper making were also significant due to reasons that were already previously mentioned in the previous video. And that's the end of today's video. I hope it was easy to understand, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and a comment. Also, if you would like to watch more videos from Real and to Share, please subscribe and turn on the notifications. Thank you.